How are you? Hello, YouTube. Hello, Facebook, and hello, Instagram. We are doing a huge live stream lesson right here, right now. For some of you, it might have been a while. I used to do really regular live streams, and at the moment, I haven't been doing that because there's just been so much going on. But I'm here with you today, and lots of you responded to my request yesterday to give me problematic words, problematic phrases, and difficult sounds. So I'm going to be working through some of these with you today. Now, there are lots and lots of you. So if I don't respond to your comment, it's nothing personal. It's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just that there are so many of you chatting to me and I'm not going to see everything. Okay. So do say hello. Tell me where in the world you're watching from. And let me know if you have any particular struggles. And if I happen to see your message, then I will respond to you, of course. So hello in Brazil. Where else are we all? Hello in Turkey. Hello in India. Lots of you here. Fantastic. I hope you can hear me okay. Hello, Romelia, one of my course students. Lovely to see you. Hello in Germany. Guten Tag. Hello in Pakistan. Brilliant. Ukraine. Fantastic. Lots and lots of people from lots of different countries. Wonderful. Indonesia, Nepal, Arabia. Amazing. Wiltshire. Amazing. Myanmar. Hi. Spain. Iran. Brilliant. Okay, so let me get started. So let me see. What have people been asking for help with? Right. I will start by saying that the variation of English that I teach, that I speak, is a modern RP British accent. So as you know, most of you, I'm from the UK, so I naturally have a British accent. And my version of British English, because there are many variations of British accents, my variation is a modern RP. And occasionally, when I'm tired, a hint of Northern English in there as well. But that's the English that I teach. It's also the variation of English that you'll find in the dictionaries that's taught as the standard version, because there are there's no regional. It doesn't belong to a region. RP doesn't belong to a region. It's just the basic version of English, British English. And then from there, if you wanted to learn a regional accent, then you have a basis to work from to then learn a different accent. Perhaps you're an actor or you just like different accents and want to learn them all. Fantastic. So the first one I can see here is the word suggestion. Suggestion. It's a funny looking word, isn't it? So we have a schwa in the position of the first vowel. So we don't say so or su, it's just s. S. A schwa sound is the most common sound in the English language, and it's just relaxed if you were doing a longer version of the schwa, it would sound like you're confused. So shorten that sound. Suggestion. Lots of my students struggle with this j sound as well. J, like a J. J, like jam or just or Juliet, if you like Shakespeare. J, suggestion. Suggestion. Now you hear you've got that j twice in the word as well, haven't you? Suggestion, suggestion, suggestion. Hope that helps. Next, we have the word weird. Weird. If someone is a little bit odd, not typical, not normal, a bit odd, they behave in a way or look different to how people usually behave or look or dress. When I was younger, people used to say I would dress in a weird way because I'd choose clothes that were not typical. I was a bit, what's the word? I was a bit of a gypsy. I liked to wear gypsy style clothing and like a hippie. And I'd have these long flowing dresses and or just wear like tie dye, which is like a mixture of colors all mixed in. Yeah. So I had a weird dress sense, according to my friends. I thought it was fine, but everyone said I was weird. So weird, weird, weird. Just think about a long E sound. We, like we, you and I. We, and then a schwa, d. Weird. Weird. Okay. Next, this is a word that's always asked about, and it's the word schedule. Schedule. A schedule is like a list of events or appointments that you have to attend. So today on my schedule, there are 3 things that I'm booked to do. I had a meeting this morning. I now have this live stream that was in my schedule. And then this evening at 6 o'clock, I am running my conversation club with my students so they can practice their English speaking. And so those are the 3 items on my schedule. Now, there are 2 ways to pronounce this. You can do the American version, which is more of a K sound. Schedule, schedule. And this is where I think the confusion comes in. People say, is it schedule or is it schedule? To be honest, it doesn't matter. Choose whichever, because both are used regularly in the UK. And even if you said schedule to someone who never says schedule but schedule, they know what you mean, and that's all that matters. You're not going to be misunderstood if you choose to say schedule or schedule. If you want to try and remember the purely British English version of the word schedule, I recommend ignoring the letter C. So just look at S and H together, schedule, and that will help. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, well, it actually brings me on to a question that I received about the letter C. One student said that they found the letter C really confusing because C is sometimes pronounced as a K sound and sometimes pronounced as a S sound. So how do you know when to use which sound when you see the letter C in a word? There is a rule, and I will tell you the rule, although I must say that almost every rule in our language has exceptions. So I'll tell you the rule so you understand. But more than anything, practice and immersion in a language is what's going to help you to learn all these variations. So don't try not to worry yourself with rules when you're actually speaking, because it will mess with your fluency. But the rule is C is pronounced as an S if it's followed by the letters E or I or Y. In fact, I should probably write this on the screen so you can see it. I won't be able to do it for Instagram, but I can do it for those of you joining me on Facebook or YouTube. So hang on, I'll just, how can I do it? Here. So this is the rule. If it is followed by letters E, I, or Y. Okay, here we go. So C is pronounced as S if it's followed by an E, by an I, or by a Y. Okay, here's an example. The word city. City. London is our capital city. It obviously is spelt with a C, but we pronounce it as an S. City. City. And Ahmed's just come up with a couple of additional words which are helpful. Thank you, Ahmed. Cycle, city, center. So here, the C is followed by an E or an I or a Y. So it's a sound. Also in the word percent, C in the word percent, like 100%, C is followed by an E, and therefore it's an S sound, percent. Or in the word since, I have been in the UK since 1981. I have been learning English since March. Since, the C is followed by an E, so it will be pronounced as an S sound. Okay. Okay, so we have, what about the word ocean? Ocean. Yes, I mean, like I said, there are exceptions. Another exception to the rule is the word muscle. Muscle. Muscle, in the C in muscle is followed by an L, and yet it's pronounced as an S. That doesn't make sense, but that's our language. It's full of exceptions. So when a C, generally, not in all cases, but when a C is followed by any other letter, generally, it's pronounced as a K. For example, create, call, cough, frantic. Okay, so that's the rule. Like I said, don't get caught up in the rules because they don't cover every case. But there you go. I hope that was helpful. Let me take this off the screen now. Oh, not that one. Keep that one on. Take that one off. Okay. Right. What else have you been asking me? Anatomy was another word. Anatomy. The human anatomy. It's your body, basically. All the ins and outs of your body, the workings of your body. Anatomy. Anatomy. And then we have a word that I pronounced wrong for years, and it's the second month of our year. It's the word February. February. Oh, it's a tricky one. February. February. If you just said February and didn't pronounce that R after the B, it doesn't matter. February, February, or February. It's such a subtle difference. And like I said, the most important thing is being understood. There are some mispronunciations that will cause problems, perhaps embarrassment, and could cause chaos. Just small differences that you have to get right in order to be understood. But no one's going to misunderstand you saying February, which is not the correct pronunciation. February is the correct pronunciation. But if you said February, no one's going to think you're meaning another month entirely. So don't worry too much about that one. What else do I have here? Particularly is another word. Particularly. Particularly. 5 syllables. Big word. Particularly. Particularly. Not pa. Particularly. No, I think it's going to always be a schwa. Particularly. Particularly. Go with a schwa. Particularly. Particularly. Lally. Get that tongue going. La 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 la. Particularly. Particularly. I am particularly fond of a coffee in the morning. Would you like to go to the park this afternoon? It is cold and it's raining, but would you like to go? Not particularly. No. No, thank you. Okay. On Instagram, someone's asking for the pronunciation of the word conqueror. Conqueror, someone who conquers things. To conquer something is to defeat it. It could be if you're in a war situation. You might conquer in the past, people would conquer a country. I guess still now it happens, unfortunately. People take over a country, or you might conquer a hill. So it's something that you battle against, and if you win, you conquer it. So you are the conqueror. Conqueror. Someone's asked for the pronunciation of the word Status. Status. In American English, I think this is more status. Status. But in British English, we say status. Status. Okay. What else do I have? The word cashew. Cashew, a cashew nut. Cashew. How do you pronounce cashew? Cashew. It sounds like you're sneezing. Oh, cashew. Cashew. A cashew nut. And I think you've also asked for another type of nut, which is pistachio. Pistachio. I do like a pistachio. Pistachio nut. Okay. Someone has asked, actually, a few people have asked about the differences generally between British English and American English. I've done lots of videos on differences, and there are many other videos by other brilliant teachers on YouTube about the many differences. But don't be under the assumption that if you learn American English, you can't communicate with British English or Australian English people, or Canadian English or African English or any version of English. If you learn American English, everyone will understand you. If you learn British English, pretty much everyone will understand you. Every variation of English, I mean, will understand you. English is an international language, and there are variations. There are differences between American and British. There are some spelling differences. They are minor. There are some pronunciation differences, like status and status, schedule, schedule. There are a few grammatical differences, but again, this is negligible. They're subtle differences. There are some phrases and idioms and slang that are particular to America, and there are some that are particular to the UK. In the UK, there are idioms and phrases that are particular to even small regions of the UK. So I would always say, if you're generally learning English, it doesn't matter what version you're learning or who you're learning from. It might be a non-native teacher. It might be a Native American teacher, a Native British teacher. It doesn't matter. It's all English. What matters is you find a teacher that you connect with, that you enjoy learning from, someone who will motivate you to continue learning. That is the only important thing. No teacher is perfect. There are lots of native teachers, including myself, who are not perfect. There are lots of non-native teachers who are wonderful, but not perfect. No one is perfect. So you have to find a teacher that motivates you to learn. Then, if in the future at some point you need to use English in a work setting, or you're moving to an area which is predominantly English speaking, then it might be worth you learning some vocabulary, grammar, spelling that's particular to that area so that you can communicate easily in that area. But otherwise, it doesn't matter. English is English. Okay? What matters is you feel motivated. Okay, so let me have a look. Friend. Friend is one of the pronunciation requests. Friend. If you take away the R, it becomes fiend. Fiend. A friend. 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 I've also been asked about pharmacist. Pharmacist. A lot of words, in fact, all words that begin with PH is pronounced with an F. Pharmacy, pharmacist, pharmaceutical. I'm trying to think of any PH words. Help me. Can anyone think of a PH word? Maybe? Right, okay. I'm going to wait for a minute and you guys are going to give me some PH words. That's your task. And we'll find out if they're all pronounced with an F. Maybe they're not. No. Yes. Well, photo, phone. Thank you, Ray. Phonetic. Yeah. Photo. pharmacy, photography, physics. Yeah, all Fs, aren't they? Okay, fantastic. Physician. Okay, physical. Let's get physical, physical. All right, could you pronounce the word garage? Garage. I say garage. I think in America they say garage, garage. They pull out that second vowel, garage, 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 garage. I'm not sure I've ever met anyone in the UK that says garage, but I wouldn't be surprised if I did, because some people, if they have a really posh accent, do make that change to the vowel, the short vowels. Sometimes they make them longer. Like I say pasta, pasta, but some people say pasta if they're very posh. Oh, bing bong, someone's at the door.
Someone is at the front door.
I'm not getting that. I'll stay with you guys. Okay, so yes, it's garage, garage, but you can say garage if you really want to. Okay. Victor has asked for the word algorithm. Algorithm. Yes, if you work on social media or if you're a YouTuber, then you'll be very familiar with news or talk of the algorithm. 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 Forever changing. Forever changing. Okay. Goldie has asked for literally, 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 literally. Better, better. Always making sure that you do pronounce that middle T, better. In some regional accents and in some American variations as well, they might drop that T and say better, better. It goes more like a D, or better, better in some regional UK accents. But if you're just going from RP version, better, better. The same with water and matter. What's the matter? It really matters to me. The other thing to note with those particular words, better, water, and matter, is the ending. Any word that ends with an ER or an OR, like mirror, doctor, we have that schwa sound. I said earlier in the lesson that the schwa sound is the most common sound in the English language. And it's because that sound replaces most of our vowels that sit in weak positions within a word. So if a vowel is in a weak position, then we replace it with a schwa to make it easier to say so that we have more flow in our sentences. Okay? So rather than saying better, water, matter, we ignore that R and we do a schwa. Better, water, matter. Better, water, matter. Okay. Next, the word enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. That wonderful TH. You have to get the tongue between the teeth. Now, we have an N, E-N. N is normally pronounced with the tip of the tongue on the alveolar ridge, which is just behind your top teeth. Ha. For your L's, your D, your T, your tongue tip will touch that space. It's the same for the N. N. So you would say enthusiasm. However, tongue gymnastics, that's a big move to go from N to th. Enthusiasm. So I recommend, to make it easy, more natural, just go towards the TH straight away. Enthusiasm. Notice the S is pronounced like a Z. Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. Hope that helps. Okay, what else do we have here? Hierarchy. Hierarchy. The hierarchy is like the status of people within a society or a social circle. In our house, the hierarchy, our hierarchy works with me at the top. I am the boss. No, I'm not really. My partner and I are at the top, and then our children are below us in the hierarchy. 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 Okay. Romalia, that's a good question. Occur, don't use an E. So the word occur, spelt O-C-C-U-R. If something occurs, then it happens or it appears. Occur. In a sentence, it would definitely begin with a schwa. Occur. Some people, would you ever begin a sentence with occur? Occur. It occurs to me. It occurs to me that you've been drinking all my tea. Some people who are very posh might use a different vowel. They might do more of an O. Occurs. But I would highly recommend you start this with a schwa. Occur. Okay. Someone on Instagram is asking for the word roar, like a lion. Rawr. We're trying to teach my son, who has just turned 1, how to roar like a lion. It was one of the cutest moments with my first son, who wasn't yet talking, but we'd say to him, Jacob, what noise does a lion make? And he'd go, "Rawr," like that. It was so cute. So that noise that a lion makes is a roar. A roar. It looks like it might be roar because it's got R-O-A-R in the spelling of it, but we pronounce it with a long vowel, or, roar. It's exactly the same as the word raw, like meat that hasn't been cooked or vegetables that haven't been cooked. They're R-A-W, raw. I roar when I see raw meat. Raw. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, someone's asking if we have a class for speaking. So while I'm here, we've been on for nearly half an hour. I will let you know what's going on and why I haven't been on here that often. Over the past 2 years, we've been building an incredible website. I wanted to make courses that were fun and that really drove students, motivated students to reach their goals of fluency and confident communication. We've been building multiple courses. So we have 6 courses available. We have an English program, which comprises of a B1 course, a B2 course, a C1 and a C2 course. We have a pronunciation course, and we have a business English course. Besides that, we've also got a few services like a pronunciation assessment, and we have a community which is just, it's the love of my life at the moment. We're building this lovely community of motivated learners, and every week I do an exclusive live stream, which is one of the reasons I haven't been live with you guys very often, is because I'm so busy with my students. And we do conversation club sessions. So those of you who are asking about speaking classes, these conversation clubs, they run at about 45 minutes each at the moment. We run them 2 to 3 times a week. It's held on Zoom and facilitated by myself, and in the future, perhaps another member of the team, but always facilitated by a teacher. And we set pre-reading. So there's a topic and some things to consider, maybe something to watch or read beforehand. And then you come to the session, we introduce it, we talk about it, and then I put you into smaller groups. So you have a chance to really practice your conversation skills, talk about the topic, really get used to using some new vocabulary, and then we come back together and discuss it further. And it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying these sessions at the moment, and you can join that community and that club for just $9.99 a month. So in a month, if you can attend all sessions, then you could potentially be doing 4, 6, 8 to 12, 8 to 13, give or take, classes a month, as well as 4 live streams. And there's also a drop-in Zoom call with me that lasts for about an hour and a half, where you can ask me anything. And it's a Zoom call, so we converse face to face. So yeah, you can join. It's incredibly cheap. It won't stay that cheap for long. In the new year, the prices will go up. At the moment, it's the introductory offer. But if you'd like to join our community, if you are motivated and you really love English, then you have a place in our community. So do check that out. The place to go for this is the English Like a Native website, which is on the screen for YouTube and Facebook. But Instagram, it's englishlikeanative.co.uk. And if you're interested in one of our courses, there is a huge 40% off at the moment because it's Black Friday week. This offer is going to last until Monday. And then after that, yeah, it's basically the biggest sale of the year. We won't do such a big discount again, probably until next year. So if you're interested, you really want to improve, you want to join our community, then come and get on board. Now is the time. So I hope that answered your question. Yes, we have speaking classes. All right. Let me see some of my previous requests. Okay, so we have some contractions here from one of my ladies on Instagram. They've asked about the words aren't, we're, weren't, and there. Oh, there, they are there. Okay, so aren't. Ignore the letter R, big open mouth. Aren't. Okay, aren't. We aren't going. We aren't talking anymore. We fell out. We aren't friends anymore. And always as well, it's a good tip for if you want to really speak with a British accent. I'd always suggest really opening up the word are, like we are. Yes, we are. Always opening that right up. Are. We are visiting Scotland today. We are planning to attend a show this evening. We are hoping to see you later. So if you really open that up and ignore the letter R, then you'll really sound British. That's a really British sound. R. Are you? Are you enjoying yourself? Are you finding this useful? Okay. Can you talk a little quicker? No, I can't. Some people think that I slow right down when I teach, but I don't. I enunciate a little more when I'm speaking, but the rate at which I speak is my natural rate of speaking. One of my biggest lessons that I try to instill on my students is not to speak fast. When I was teaching one-on-one to my students, I'd always tell them, slow down. And these are natives as well as non-natives. You don't need to speak fast. Naturally naturally English as a language is slower than some other common world languages. Like Spanish, for example, is a very fast language. We speak naturally slower anyway. But on top of that, if you want to be a confident communicator, if you want people to really hear your message and, feel confident in you and what you're saying, you need to slow down. Look at Barack Obama. I think he's a wonderful speaker. He does take really big pauses, so maybe don't pause as long as he does. But watch how he talks. There's something about the way he speaks that makes you just trust him, believe him, and think he knows what he's talking about. And it's the rate at which he speaks. He speaks nice and slowly, clearly. Make sure that you've understood every point. Okay? So slow down. Don't speak fast. There's no need. Be confident in what you're saying. Take your time to get your message across. Okay? All right. So we had the word aren't, contraction, aren't. We aren't doing it. And then there's the word we're, like we are. We're. Now, there are two ways to say this. We're. It's got the diphthong ear in it, like your ear. And if you're going to use the diphthong ear, then you have to make the movement ear. We're pulling our ears. Okay? But a lot of natives will just say ear, my ear. We're going out. We're good friends. Mark is here. Hello, Mark. We're good friends, aren't we, Mark? So as a native speaker or someone who's trying to achieve a nice flow, if you struggle with diphthong sounds, ear, o, ow, air, if you struggle with them, then ignore them and just go for where, but don't pronounce the letter R. Don't try and do where or anything like that. Just where. We're going out. And that will keep your speech moving nice and smoothly. The next contraction here is weren't. Are you noticing a pattern here? The word weren't contains the letter R, but we don't pronounce it. Were, we weren't. Okay? Weren't. And then the last contraction here is there, as in they are, the contraction of they are. There. You can be really posh with this and do it there. They're going out. But just a nice solid there. They're over there by the chair, brushing their hair. Okay? So I always say that diphthongs are like a flourish. Diphthongs are like the frill on the bottom of your dress, or the cufflinks, the fancy cufflinks in your shirt, or the, what do you call the little pocket handkerchief that you have in a fancy jacket? You have a little fancy thing that comes out, you chaps, don't you? That's a flourish. It's not necessary. It's not the core. It's a flourish. And I always think diphthongs, they are important, but they're more of a flourish. Always focus on getting the short vowels and the long vowels perfect, and that will stand you in good stead. Okay. Okay, and the next request was the word grew. The past of grow, grew. Last summer, I grew some tomatoes in my garden. My son grew 5 centimeters last year. I don't know if that's a lot or not. I'm making it up. Okay. Okay, what else do I have here? Here. All right, so here I've got a request for the pronunciation of the word ado. Much ado about nothing. That's a famous Shakespeare play, Much Ado About Nothing. Or you might know the tongue twister, what a to do to die today at a minute or two to two. How does the rest of it go? What a to do to die today at a minute or two to two. Something, and even harder to do. Anyway, a to do, or ado, much ado about nothing. It's how do you explain this? Much ado, like a fuss. Yeah, much ado about nothing is a big fuss about nothing. It's a big fuss about nothing. And the other word you asked, it's not a common word, by the way. Don't worry about learning that word. And the other word you asked for was content. And depends if you're meaning to be content. I am feeling happy. I'm content. Content. Or if you're talking about what's inside something, like the content of my lesson, what's inside my lesson. The content is pronunciation. This is the content. At the weekend, hopefully I'll be releasing a lesson on housing vocabulary, and I've created a PDF that everyone can download, and the content of that PDF is the actual vocabulary with the meanings and example sentences. That's the content. Notice how I pronounce that. Content. I feel content with my content. The stress is different, so it slightly changes the vowel. My content, my work, my content. The stress is at the beginning, my content. I am content. The stress is on the end. Content. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Hello, Betsy. Is that how I pronounce your name? Betsy, you're a new student. I've just done your pronunciation assessment and you gave me a glowing 5-star review for the courses and the assessment. So thank you so much. That's very, very kind. And I'm glad that you're enjoying the courses and everything so far. You've asked for the difference between the word than and when. Okay, so there's two differences, and it brings up one challenge that many students struggle with, particularly students who maybe come from a Germanic language. So the difference between a V and a W can be tricky for some people. It takes quite a bit of practice, and you have to be very conscious of when you're using these sounds. So the first is the letter V. V. The position is very different. You have your bottom lip against your top teeth and you're creating a vibration. It's a fricative. V. V. Okay. When we pronounce a W, we round our lips. Ooh, there's no teeth involved, so you shouldn't see teeth. Your teeth should not be touching your lips. Big round sound, round lips, round shape. W. W. Why, when, where, what. Okay, so a W should feel like vibration, ooh, but it's not the same as the vibrating on the lip when the tooth is involved or the teeth are involved. So really practice and be conscious of that positional difference. Okay. The next difference between the word van and when is the vowel. So you've got the a in van and the e in when. A, e, a, e, a, e. Now, earlier I said learning diphthongs is not vital, but learning the subtle differences between short vowels and the differences between short and long vowels, because they're often confused, those are really important. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of an example here. For example, the words batter and better. If you've been following me for a while, you might be familiar with the tongue twister, Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said, this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. So she bought some better butter, better than the bitter butter. When she put that in her batter, it made her batter better. So it was good that she bought some better butter for her batter. Something like that. I'm sure I've got that wrong. But the point is, these subtle differences in short vowel completely change the word. So if you say batter, batter is a mixture of, what is it? It's flour, water, egg. Is there egg in batter? And batter can make like bread and pastry and stuff like that. So batter is with an A, batter, and then you have better to improve. It is better. As a comparative, it's better than that one. So if I say, I can't think of a good sentence with both of them that's different to the tongue twister, but you can see the point. Or bitter even, which has got an I in it. Bitter. Bitter means it's not sweet. It's the opposite of sweet. In some cases, people like something that's bitter, but often it's a negative thing. Oh, it's a bit bitter. Coffee can be bitter. So you might put sugar in to sweeten it. So if you say, is that good? Say, oh, that's bitter. but you meant that's better, then someone might go, oh, I'll quickly bring the sugar. No, I meant that's better. It's better than it was before. Thank you. No more sugar. No more sugar. Okay, right. So, okay, Amir has brought up the question about the words there, and then we'd also include in this the contraction they are, there. These all sound the same, so don't worry about changing the pronunciation. You have to get which version from the context. So it's over there, the position, there, where? On YouTube. There, where? In the kitchen. Or there as in the possessive, it's their coat, it's their turn. My children love their nanny. Okay, so the possessive. And then the contraction, they are there. There, there, there. They're there. Okay, hope that helps. Someone's asking for the difference, but I think maybe you mean in meaning, but the difference between hearing and listening. In pronunciation, hearing, listening. In meaning, to hear something, you can hear something that you don't intend to hear. If someone knocks on the window, I just heard something. What did you hear? I heard someone knock on the window or something knock on the window. So it's something that goes in your ear that you acknowledge, but it's unintentional. To listen is with intent. You mean to hear it. So at nighttime, I put my children to bed and then I listen, or you can use the phrasal verb, I listen out for. I listen out for my children waking up. So I listen out for a cry or a murmur or a little peep out of them. And I know they're awake and they need my assistance. So I listen for them. I'm intentionally trying to hear something. But if I sometimes I go downstairs and I'm washing up and I'm not listening for them because I've just put them down. They should be okay for at least an hour. But sometimes I just hear a noise and I go, oh, hang on, let me listen. Oh, yes, it's the children. I must go to them. Okay, so that's the difference. It's about intention. Okay, Syed says, hi, Anna. I've been trying to do a better job on my accent for years, and now I feel like I'm exaggerating a lot. What do you think I should do? I think, first of all, try to work out if you are exaggerating in a way that's unnatural. I exaggerate when I speak. If you listen to how I speak compared to, I don't know, my partner, who doesn't do a lot of public speaking, if you listen to me now, I'm exaggerating. I exaggerate my frictive sounds, my voiced frictives. Z, v. I often really exaggerate my vowels. I enjoy and lengthen my long vowels. I might make my plosive sounds, which is ones that explode, like p, t, k, more plosive. I exaggerate, but most of you tell me that you like the way I sound, that you don't say, oh, you sound weird, you sound unnatural, you're exaggerating the way you speak. No, I'm just speaking clearly. I'm enjoying communicating, and exaggeration of sounds is part of that. So first of all, ascertain, work out if you are actually exaggerating. Many people struggle to make a big change to their pronunciation because they feel self-conscious. And this is a huge battle. You have to break down that feeling of everyone's laughing at me. People will think I'm strange. First of all, who cares what other people think? This is about you and your progression. So don't worry about what other people think. And yeah, I mean, you just have to get rid of that block of worrying. You have to build a new habit, and that habit only comes with real exaggerated practice. What I would suggest, if you genuinely are feeling uncomfortable with your level of exaggeration, if that's the case, is to exaggerate in your actual practice. I don't know why I'm doing this. Your actual practice sessions, exaggerate. If you're a student on my courses, you'll do regular articulation exercises, regular tongue twisters, working those particular sounds and those combinations of sounds. It's important, if you're a student or if you're studying pronunciation, that you really over exaggerate in your practice, because only by doing very specific movements of the mouth, practicing your v and w sounds with real purpose, that way you're going to train the habits of your mouth, the shapes, the feelings. Then when you do that really exaggerated practice, once you move back into normal talking, more relaxed, free-flowing speech, you should start to move towards the right place. Like if I don't walk properly, or if I run in a way that hurts my knees and my back because my posture's wrong, I have to step back and slow down and really work out how my foot lands on the floor and what my gait is like. So the stretch of my legs, like the width of my pace, my steps, and what I'm doing with my arms, how I'm holding my shoulders. Am I doing this when I'm running? So you have to really exaggerate. So you might go through it as a walk or as a light jog, really thinking about it. And I might look strange doing it, but I'm practicing, so I don't care. It's about me and my progression. So I get that into my body. Because I've exaggerated it enough, I started to get the feeling. So then when I pick up to a run, I go, oh yeah, I get it. After a while, I might get back into old habits and go, oh no, something's wrong here. Slow down again, exaggerate again. Yeah, okay, that's it. And you get back into a run. Okay, I got it. And it'll keep slipping back. So you have to keep exaggerating in your practice to get to a good place in your use. Does that help? Okay, fantastic. Okay, Pino says, I'm struggling to pronounce needn't have worried. Needn't have worried. So needn't is a contraction of need not. And so this is what you'd say to someone who's worried in the past. You needn't have worried. So someone might say to you, where were you last night? You were out all night and I didn't know where you were. I was so worried. And you'd say, well, you needn't have worried. You shouldn't have worried because I was just at my friend's house. I'd sent you a text message and told you, you needn't have worried about me. I'm fine. I'm 40 years old. It's fine. I can look after myself. I needn't have worried. The pronunciation, needn't. Now, this brings up a really tricky little aspect of pronunciation. It's called lateral plosive. A lateral plosive is where, so a plosive is a d, a t, a p, a k, a g, these explosive sounds. Sometimes these are swallowed into a lateral plosive. So what we're doing with these plosives is releasing pressure. So with the letter d, we put the tip of our tongue on the roof of our mouth, we create pressure, d, and then we release the pressure, d, d, d. Okay? With the word needn't, we're not releasing it in the same way as we normally would. We're holding the tongue, needn't, and we're almost allowing the explosion to happen backwards or sideways. I wouldn't worry about getting this skill too much. It's helpful. It's present in words like puddle, middle, cuddle, bottle. Think if I can think of any others. There are plenty of others, but needn't is similar. It's kind of pushed up. The explosion is kind of pushed up. Needn't, needn't. You could also separate it out and say you need not have worried. That's quite posh. I would say you shouldn't. That's another contraction. Yeah, stick with needn't. It's nice. Needn't, needn't, needn't. You just have to let it explode into the nose. It's a tricky one, though. You needn't have worried. I was fine. Okay, right. We've been here for 55 minutes. Goodness me. Time flies when you're having fun. Right, let me see what else came up on the Instagram chat. Okay, so the word clothes. Clothes. Someone's asked if this is pronounced with a TH or with a Z. It's one of those things. It's a tricky word, and even I have to kind of slow down when I say this word because clothes. It's tricky because you have the TH, which is a fricative at the front of the mouth with the tongue poked out. And then you've got another fricative, which needs the tongue to be in. Z. Clothes, clothes, clothes. It's a mouthful, and it never feels natural to me. What's important is that you don't say the word close, as in, I've closed the shop. The shop is closed. We close on Christmas Day. I need to close the window. So you have to find a happy medium between the two. Clothes, clothes. I tend to touch my tongue forward, but I don't go too far through. Clothes, clothes. It's a tricky one. Just do what you can. Hopefully context will always help with that particular word. Okay. Okay, David's asked, how about the difference between watch? Make sure there's a T in that word, David. Watch and see. And last but not least, between the word voice and sound. Okay, so watch and see is the same as hear and listen. If you see something, it's unintentional, perhaps. It's just something that comes into view that you acknowledge. Oh, I see you. Or I just saw a squirrel. I wasn't looking for a squirrel, but I saw a squirrel. Watch is intentionally looking at something for a period of time. I'm going to watch The X Factor tonight. I'm going to watch my son in the school play. So it's intentionally looking. Okay. The words voice and sound is more general. Sound covers everything that creates sound waves. Everything that you can hear is a sound. Voice is a particular sound made with the vocal folds vibrating and making sound. Okay. Good. Okay. Miss Rosie, you said, please help me how to pronounce the word laugh. And similar to that, the word love. Yes, very common, slightly tricky words. The word laugh. Okay, there's two versions. If you're going for British RP or any southern variation of British accent, then we do a long vowel R. Laugh. And it's an F ending. Laugh, laugh. There are other versions, or there is another version. It's a northern version, which is also the same as a American version, and it's with a short vowel instead of a long R. It's with an A. Laugh, laugh. I laugh. I laugh. Americans do slightly pull it out, but not like laugh, laugh, laugh. So it really depends which version of English you're going for, but laugh or laugh. And the other word you asked for was the word love. Love. The vowel in this one is a little bit tricky. It doesn't exist in Northern English. And it was one that I had to learn because I'm originally from the North. And this was a sound I didn't have growing up. I had to learn this one. It's the sound, like in the word up, above, glove, love, slightly higher, Okay, so you say la, not la, love. And make sure you've got the nice V vibration on the lip. Love. I love it. I love to laugh. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Right. I'm going to take a few more from the question I asked earlier on Instagram, because there were so many messages that came through. Liaise. Someone's asked for the word liaise, how to pronounce and the meaning. Liaise, spelled Liaise. Liaise. Lee, like the name Lee. Liaise. 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 A little bit of a mouthful. Liaise. To liaise with someone is to meet with someone to discuss something. There was actually a famous film called Dangerous Liaisons, and that was about as a love story. People coming together, meeting. So it just means a meeting, basically. But you liaise with people at work. So if we're discussing something and you need a decision on it, perhaps you're trying to sell me a service. And I say, that's very interesting. I'm not the decision maker. I will have to liaise with my team and then liaise with my boss, who is the decision maker. Then we can make a decision on this. Okay, so to liaise with is to meet with someone for a purpose. Okay. Could you please clarify the word posh? Posh, spelled P-O-S-H, posh. To be posh, it's slang and sometimes used in a slightly derogatory way. Sometimes to be posh usually means that you are well educated. So someone who's perhaps been fortunate enough to go to a private school, so their parents have paid for them to have a top class education and lots of additional education besides school, so their parents have really been able to afford that. Perhaps they live in it's about status in society, so they usually come from a lot of money. They have a lot of wealth. They probably live in a nice house. Maybe they have very nice clothes and a nice car, and they earn good money and they had a good education. And often people will classify you as posh because of the way you speak. Now, people will suggest that an RP accent, what I speak with, is posh. Certainly, if I go back to my hometown where I was born, everyone speaks with a regional accent there, and they'll hear me and go, "Oh, you're posh," because they think because I have this accent, I come from London or the London area or the South, where there is more money and it's more expensive to live here. So you have to have the ability to afford to live here. And because I speak like this, they assume I come from a wealthy background and that I make lots of money and that I live in a mansion and all this nonsense. It's not the case. I don't come from money. I don't earn lots of money. I don't live in a mansion. I just chose to speak like this, and that's, just the way things are. But yes, some people might say I'm posh, or that if you have an accent like this, you're posh, or if you go to a restaurant that's very expensive and they have chandeliers and napkins nicely folded, and it's a bit fancy, you'd say it's a posh restaurant. If they design their food on the plate and make it look like a piece of art, then you'd say it's posh food. Yeah. So that's posh. I hope that's helped to explain the use of posh. Someone has asked for the difference between the word sew, S-E-W, which you do to stitch clothing together, you sew it, and the word sow, S-O-W, which is putting seeds into the ground and covering them with soil. You sow the seeds. You can metaphorically sow the seeds. You can put a thought into somebody's head and let that thought grow. You sow the seed. Okay, they are pronounced the same as the word S-O. So, moving on. So, hole in the ground, so, and so. All the same. So, diphthong, oh, so. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap up. I think an hour is enough. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me here. I do apologize if I haven't had the opportunity to respond to your comments. Like I said, I'm running a stream across 4 different platforms here, so there's lots of comments coming into my eyes, into my face, and I'm running this on my own, so I probably haven't seen your comment. So don't get upset with me. If you do have any additional requests, then when the stream is finished, on YouTube, Facebook, you can put it in the comments and I'll try and include it in a future pronunciation clinic. If you're looking for more speaking practice, then we are doing a conversation club session tonight. If you come and join one of our courses or our conversation or our community, then you can join our session this evening. Don't forget, we have 40% off all of our courses for the next few days. The offer will end on Monday. So if you do want to get involved, don't miss out. All you have to do is go to englishlikeanative.co.uk and use the code ELAN40. That's ELAN 40. But that's also apparent on the website. You can't miss it when you go to the website. The prices that you see on the website don't show the sale price. So the prices that you see will be discounted at checkout. We'll take 40% off when you use the code. Otherwise, I hope you're all happy and well. And I hope you're continuing to feel motivated to learn English and to improve your confidence and communication skills. All right, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to give this a like and share with anyone who might find it useful. Take care.